We are live right here with Jason Stoddard in beautiful Corpus Christi, Texas, at the Shitterless meetup. If we're coming through, if you can hear us, pop it in the comments. I think we get. Let us know if you can hear us. All right. Hello, shitheads. All right, we got
there we go.
Rex Carlson. We have Fatner's Geek File. Hey, brother. Love your channel. I love you, Fatner's Geek File. All right. Look at this. Can hear you fine. Fantastic. So, Jason, Schiit, had a pretty good year, right? You want to talk about it at all?
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good year. We had a crazy year. That's like, I was writing, we write a year-end wrap-up chapter.
Yeah.
I was writing that, and I'm like, for the first time, I think I need to talk about the year a little bit. You know, the whole craziness of, like, we went into the year, like, full bore, you know, pedal the floorboard, trying to make as much stuff as possible because we had supply chain problems.
Yeah.
We had huge demand, you know, and then the year didn't really turn out that way. I mean, we had to make some really deep commitments to our suppliers to actually get any parts at all.
Yeah.
And now, of course, demand has softened. I think that's normal. And our suppliers are like, so, hey, you're going to take those parts? It's like, guys, come on. We can't do that. So it's been a whipsaw of a year, and that's without even talking about Ukraine and the tubes and all that stuff.
So we're doing a giveaway too. So Jason is giving a giveaway. So there's going to be 2 huge prizes to give away. The only thing that y'all have to do is comment either on my channel, on Schiit's channel, on Schiit's Facebook, or apparently on my Facebook too. So the only thing you have to do to enter is put a comment down there. Hello. You had a great 2022. That's what Lee Tangwa says. Sanford, Florida, Antonio Colon. That's quite a name. Prospects owner after Xmas, made in the USA. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and made in Texas too.
Made in the USA and made in Texas, or made in California and Texas. We got to be careful to actually kind of explain what that means, because you can get in trouble for saying made in USA if you don't explain it.
Okay.
And so we always say, like, the metal's made here.
Okay.
The boards are made here. We do all the final stuff, the final assembly in our facilities, but all of our subcontractors, our metal guys and board guys, are here in the U.S.
Okay.
So.
Very good.
But.
All right. Do some shout outs. Where are y'all from? We have Jason Knox. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. All right. We have. All right. Dennis Herrick said, I'm married in Texas and I can talk Texan. All right. All right. We got greetings from Chicago. Ed Homewood. I know Ed. All right. Kansas City. We got Iowa. Oh, my goodness. They're really rolling in. Omaha, Nebraska. Lloyd Johnson. Valparaiso, Indiana. Allen, Texas. They're rolling in too quick. Pittsburgh, PA. So I think we had a Sacramento. Sarasota, Florida. Des Moines.
I just saw Central Valley, California.
Yeah. Oh,
there you go.
They're rolling in too fast. Yeah. Connecticut, Boston.
Yep.
Fayetteville. They're rolling in so fast. All right. So we're going to start off with some questions here for Jason. Number 1, what was your biggest amp or DAC challenge you faced this year?
Oh, boy.
Can you hear Jason okay? Does he need to get his mic down here a little bit? I don't know.
Can you hear me okay?
Somebody said that we needed to boost up the levels a little bit, but I can't. It is what it is.
Huh.
Gino Montes. Anyway.
The biggest challenge besides just getting parts, it's probably just getting parts, really. I mean, we've had to delay introduction of some products and actually throttle production of our multi-bit DACs because we can't get DSPs.
Right, I remember that because I did a video on the multi bit. I'm like, this is the best shit you can't buy because it was just out there. But that's exciting. I love the multi bit.
So right now we're in the middle of redesigning for TI DSPs. And of course, probably about the time we're done redesigning, that's when the other ones, the analog devices, will probably hit about that time. And that's how it goes. So parts have been brutal. Also, getting the Magni right. We just introduced the Magni Plus, Magni Heretic, and the Magni Plus went through like a dozen iterations. I tried a bunch of crazy things, and we ended up just kind of doing a fairly light revision on it, rather than going too crazy.
Is that available now?
Yeah, it's available now.
Shipping right here from Corpus Christi, Texas.
Yes, actually it says Corpus Christi, Texas on the back.
All right, they want to know if you're not drinking, Jason.
Oh, I'm drinking, but lightly.
Lightly.
Yeah.
Lightly. All right. All right, here's another one. What was the toughest parts of blending your Texas and California locations?
It's been pretty easy. Actually, the real thing was like getting Texas up and running and deciding what we were going to make here. And we just started moving the highest quantity products that we could here, and ended up moving everything that either is wall wart powered or USB powered here. And we left all the more complicated stuff in California, stuff that has multiple boards, has internal wiring and things like that. It stays in California.
Okay.
And that actually has worked pretty good. The two teams are working really well together. I mean, other than me and my wife flying back and forth, every couple months, and having to deal with the hell that is air transport in 2022.
How have you guys personally been like getting into Texas culture? I mean, has it been easy for you? Has it been tough for you? Are you acclimating to Texas?
Oh, it's been easy because people here are very nice.
And people in Texas are nice
and polite.
Unless you're on the highway with them.
I've noticed that too. But that's just like California. So no, it's been great. The biggest thing in getting adjusted to is your state bird, the mosquito.
They're saying your levels are a little bit down. Is there maybe you can pull it down a little bit, or maybe like how's it?
Is this better?
I don't know. Let's see.
Maybe it's better.
Maybe.
Oh boy.
Hannah says y'all need a beer. That's right.
Yeah, got one.
John Shepler asks, AKM or Saber chip, which is easier to implement, and what do you like better?
AKM is easier.
AKM's easier. Okay.
A lot easier. The Saber chip is more. It's like a toolkit. You can do a lot of things with it. You can even do your own digital filters and things like that with it. And we actually are preferring now the ESS parts, the Saber parts, because we can do more with them. And so it's unlikely we'll go back to AKM unless there's another disruption.
Yeah.
We got.
Hopefully there won't be a fire at the Saber plant.
Oh, let's just hope not. I mean, there's been so many crazy things happening. I'm hoping 2023 is more planned.
Yeah.
Hoping.
A little smoother.
I hope. Yeah. We'll see how it happens.
How was your guys' business? I mean, was 2022, was it bigger, smaller in 2021, even when you consider like all the supply chain issues and everything? Are you happy with 2022?
Pretty happy. It was about the biggest year ever, either 2021 or 2022. We'll see how it comes out. It might be a little bigger. The thing I'm not happy about is that we did our first sale. We don't do sales. We've never actually really done sales or promotions or anything like that. And we actually got so stocked up with product that we really needed to move some things out. So we did a Black Friday type of thing.
I think I remember that. That's right.
And yeah, a lot of customers were like, yeah, we're not real happy about that. It's like, neither are we, but we have to do this. And, yell at me next year. If we do this again next year, yell at me, because that's really bad planning. It should be easier this year. This year we couldn't plan for. I mean, I didn't know that we would literally be pedal to the ground until summer, and then everything kind of fell off.
Yeah. Well, hopefully y'all took advantage of the shit sale. All right. Have the tube purchasing challenges eased up a bit? Tube's easier to get now.
A bit. Here's the catch, and we have to be upfront with this. If people want tubes, they're typically Russian tubes. So if you're not comfortable with that, you have to make your own decision on whether or not you're comfortable with that. We actually have two kinds of tubes now. We typically have our premium new production tubes, which could come from Slovak Republic, could come from Russia. And then we have our NOS tubes, the new old stock tubes, which were made in the USSR back in the 60s and
Cold
70s.
War,
yeah. And we get from our Ukrainian distributor.
Okay, so wait a minute.
Yeah.
They're Soviet tubes made in the Soviet Union, but sold from the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
well, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't on that one.
I don't know. It's like I totally understand if people want to sit on their hands and wait for the tube supply to change.
Awesome. All right, Jason. Hopefully, I'm not even rereading these, so hopefully you guys are good. I love the sale. I took advantage of a couple of things, but yes, I was a little bummed on an earlier Lokius purchase. It is what it is. Well, I mean, it's not like you discounted it by 50%, right? I mean,
they're pretty heavy cuts.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, Lokius went from $299 to $229 for a little while.
Ooh.
Yeah. So.
I like here the best speaker is a new equalizer. I'm just saying. It is way cheaper than a new set of speakers.
Or a better speaker.
That's right. Right. I no.
Yeah, get the speakers, get the headphones before you buy any of our stuff. Don't buy our stuff yet.
Well, I like a good EQ, just like everybody else.
So do I.
All right, here's one. A CD transport in 2023, and I have no idea how to pronounce this name.
Erd.
Oh,
yeah, Erd. It's a shit Erd.
Okay.
You need to have a space in there.
Okay.
Or maybe not. Yeah, that is coming along. We just got the transports in. We will be making that sometime in Q1, I think.
When's it going to ship?
Q1. Yeah. It's not a CD. It's not just CD transport. It's a digital. It's a Unison digital hub. It actually has.
Oh, so it can be a DAC too.
No.
Okay. Sorry.
But it has two USB inputs and a USB output, so you can actually run USB out of the transport. You can also switch to USB inputs, and you can convert USB to SPDIF.
Okay, so you can run your computer into it.
Yeah, it's computer and a streamer, or a tablet and a streamer.
Very interesting. Do you have any idea, like ballpark-ish price?
If things hold, it's $12.99. It's not an inexpensive seat, because we're actually using a real Philips copy mechanism, one that's made in Europe, I believe.
Okay.
But we're actually using a CD drive. It's not a computer drive. It's not a writer. It's not, it's actually a regular old tray load, old school CD only mechanism.
Now, I know, like, I talked to Dane over at Emotiva, and they're talking about, like, the mechanisms or the, laser or the assembly.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that easy to find anymore, right? I mean, it's not like it was in the 90s, right?
There's basically one company making these. Essentially, they were Philips style drives. And then there's any number that'll sell you the computer style drives.
Okay.
These are kind of blindingly expensive, and that's one of the reasons it's not a cheap unit to make.
We may need to speak up a little bit. I think Phil
could just speak up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. It also has like 4 32-bit microprocessors in it. So, this is an expensive unit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, wait, $12.99 is a lot of money, for a shit product. And I'm like, you haven't seen it. You haven't used it. It's a really small, sleek, little cool thing.
Yeah.
You might like it. And
so is it smaller than like 18, 17 inches, or is it regular?
It's exactly the same size as a Freya. So
okay, cool.
So 2 inches tall, 8 inches deep, and 16 inches wide.
Does it have the same kind of styling cues and everything?
I should have brought one.
Oh, I would have loved to see that. Does it play gapless? And I know this is a crazy question to ask.
I don't know, but if it doesn't, we can make it do that.
Oh, because I had to see, I never noticed that CD players didn't play gaplessly.
Yeah.
And I got a CD player, and I was listening to a live album, and it was like, and then it played the next track. I'm like, what is this type of? sorcery.
For
I don't like
for
this.
live, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's no. I hear you. The thing is, we're doing all the code for it. So if it doesn't do it,
You can make it.
we can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Oh, by the way, if you're just joining, if you want to win two great, actually, Jason, why don't you tell us what the giveaways are?
Prizes. Oh, you'll like this.
Prizes.
Okay. One prize is everything we introduce in 2023 on the analog side. The other is everything we introduce in 2023 on the digital side. And I think, the plans are still nebulous, but I suspect both those will be pretty exciting.
Yeah. Okay. So in order to enter, the only thing you have to do is comment. So comment on Facebook, post on Facebook, post on, comment on YouTube, or comment on my YouTube. So
yeah. And as a for example, like this year, if you'd won, you would have gotten a Manny 2, a Tier, a Folkvanger, a Freya N, List, Lear Plus, Bifrost 264, Valley 2 Plus Plus, Yggdrasil Plus, Magni Plus, Modi Plus, Vidar 2, and maybe Modi Multibit 2 if it manages to get out this month. That's,
wow,
a decent amount of gear.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll do that much gear next year, but there will be some really good stuff.
Yeah. That's one heck of a prize. All right. All right. I'm just getting into headphones. What Schiit amp / DAC would you recommend for a beginner? I think I know the answer to this, but I'll defer to you.
I bet it'll be really shocking. I'll say Magni and Modi.
Yeah, very, very surprising.
Well, we actually say on the Magni Modi page, like, this is all you need.
Yeah.
And this is all you need. It really is. I mean, it'll drive almost anything. You might be able to find a Hi-Fi Man headphone or two that it would struggle a bit with.
Okay.
But, the Susvara maybe.
Okay, yeah.
HE6 maybe.
I mean, but that's a $4,000 headphone or $6,000 headphone.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really good, solid product. If you want to try tubes, you could do a Valley instead, but that's a whole different kettle of fish. I mean, because you got tubes, you have to, have the tube Nervosa. Are you going to swap it out for a different tube?
Right. Yeah.
Even I'm like, sometimes solid state is cool.
Yeah. So Magni Modi. So that's what?
Magni Modi.
250 all in, 260 all in,
238 all in,
238 all in, DAC headphone amp. What Saber chip are you guys using?
9018.
Okay.
Which is it's an older one, but
it's an older DAC, but it still works. We were about to clear it. What movie is that from? Anybody know? Remember? I know what movie it is from.
Dave loves that DAC though, and you would be amazed what we've done with it, because we gave it to Mike and Dave, who've done like some of the most insane DACs in the world, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna play with this a bit.
Okay.
And I'm real happy with where it came out.
Very cool. All right. David Smithson said, it's one heck of a prize. I'm in. Very good. I don't know. Beef Supreme 510. Shit is this shit. Great products. All right, here we go. Greg Walrath, Return of the Jedi. You are absolutely correct. It was the code that Han Solo used. It was an older code, but it checks out. We're about ready to clear them. Shall I hold? And then Darth Vader says, leave them to me. All right. It was very, very bad impersonation. Definitely looking forward to the Erd.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah, that's the CD transport.
Oh, duh. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not up to speed on all the new shit.
Yeah, as far as what you can expect for 2023, Erd will definitely be one of the prizes. We have a couple 3 analog things coming out January, February-ish. I can't talk about those. One of them is definitely going to be an eyebrow raiser.
Okay.
We're going to go straight after one of the biggest sacred cows in audio.
An eyebrow razor.
Yeah,
like you're going to cut it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we'll see. Either people will go, you guys are crazy, and why'd you bother doing this? Or they'll go, maybe we've been doing this wrong for a real long time.
Huh.
So I don't know. Let's put it this way. I know you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
Even if we're wrong.
Okay.
We might be.
All right, we have a question from Matt Whipple. Are you making more products upgradable?
Yes and no.
Good.
Yeah. Yes and no. Actually, the DACs in general, Bifrost level and above, are going to be upgradable.
Oh, cool.
We have modular products. Actually from Asgard, Jotunheim, and Ragnarok 2 are upgradable via cards. The upgradability, though, it's hard to manage, and eventually upgradability will break, as in you'll come up with something, I'd really like to add this, but I have to change the chassis, or I have to add this power supply, or whatever. That's why we actually did this thing called the Yggdrasil Plus, which is, I don't know if you know about this, it's a chassis upgrade for Iggy.
Okay.
That also gets you, remote control and NOS mode and things like that. But the main thing is it makes the chassis much more modular. So now in the future, if you want to change Iggy out, it's a lot easier. And so it's truly modular at that point with 7 different boards you can swap out. And don't worry, we're not going to introduce like board of the month club. But you know, when you have an upgradable product, you go, Iggy's upgradable. Oh, by the way, you have to remove 39 screws.
Oh yeah.
To do it.
Yeah.
So this new one's like 4 screws. It slides open. You know, you get some more features.
Very cool.
And we've been telling people you don't necessarily need this, but if you want some of the new cool stuff that's coming, you may want to have it.
Yeah, that's cool. So this is an interesting question from somebody due. HDMI ARC upgrade DAC, and I've got this question a lot. Are there ever going to be a DAC that basically has HDMI ARC? And I know you can like use an audio extractor to get like an optical coax out of an HDMI cable, but it's kind of a pain like to do that. Is anybody doing that?
We've actually had I had Dave, who's our resident kind of one of our digital firmware guys, look into that. Look into HDMI in general. HDMI is a mess, to put it mildly. Do you know they have these things called plug fests every year, where they actually invite all the HDMI people who do HDMI to come together, plug things together, and see what works?
No, it doesn't surprise me though. Because HDMI is a mess.
So yeah, the pass-through element is really scary because what happens when now we want to have 8K and this type of upgrade, this type of pass-through. Oh, sorry, no, it only does 4K. Oh, what if you want 16K? Well, now the DAC doesn't do that. And an upgradable DAC could be theoretically possible, but we haven't seen a lot of call for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear you. I use D embedders, and they are not fun and not great.
So back to Scott Pledger, $20. Thank you, Scott. Cheers and thanks for the folk, Wagner. It sounds great. Awesome. We had somebody else in there.
We have one here. Oh, it has tubes in it now. Cool.
Yeah, it's back there. I would show you, but then everything would probably break, and then it would come to an end. All right. Let's see. Plugfest, love it. Any chance you'll make your own line of speakers?
No.
No.
Yeah, it's like
not remotely. No.
I was answering people on Head5 for a while with just saying, 100%, when they're right, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
And we had these people guessing you're going to introduce these 2 products, and I'd do 50%. And someone said speakers. I said minus 100%. It's not that we hate speakers. It's just that we don't have any special knowledge of them. Okay. And honestly, I'd rather remain friends with all the speaker manufacturers.
True. Yeah. Any streamer in the works?
We are not going to do a streamer. Okay. Main reason being is then we are a de facto software company. And we just don't want to do that. So we'll do the DAC. We'll do something you can pass the streamer through. But we don't want to do that.
Well, streamers are cool, man, because they're getting so good and the software is getting so good and they're getting cheap. Mm-hmm. So you could legit just like tape a Wii Mini streamer to a Modi and be good. And for less than $200, you have a great streamer into a great DAC. So it's awesome.
A lot of stuff we do, we ask ourselves, can we make it better, cheaper, or whatever? And if the answer is no, we don't do things for the sake of doing things.
Okay.
Yeah. And streamers, we've had lots of discussions. I was like, no, we're good.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Mab 1376 says, I use my Folk Wagner as a preamp with my Azure, and it's heavenly. I bet it is.
Sounds like a good combo, actually.
Yeah. That's cool. Let's see. Let's go back to one of these questions. Jason, do you have a favorite Schiit product?
Actually, I do. It changes, though.
Okay.
My favorite Schiit product really right now is Lear Plus because it's, very capable and it's tube or no tube kind of thing. But I like stuff that kind of blends the antique and the high tech.
Right.
It's Lear Plus is a tube product, but it has a microprocessor in it, and it doesn't let you do anything dumb like pull the tube out and things like that. So I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Now, in a month, it might be something different. Sure. And a month before that, it might have been Veli 2 Plus, the worst named product ever in Schiit history.
All right. What changed with Vidar 2 other than the front button?
Lots of stuff. Basically, it's a complete relayout. It's a complete redo of everything. We changed a bunch of parts. It's mainly like higher quality parts and much better layout than the old one.
Okay.
So sounds like a little. It actually adds up to a lot. And
same power ratings.
Same power ratings, except now it's got a much better debias than even Azure. I mean, when you put it in standby, it goes down to somewhere between 1 and 2 watts. Okay. And it just sits there.
Yeah.
So that's one of that's one of the amps that is really kind of a key for us. And the original Vidar went through for 6 years without any changes. And I like to remind people it's because there's not a lot new.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. An original Vidar is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
The Vidar 2 is just, we took it up a notch. And made it more convenient.
Very cool.
Yeah.
By the way, I think one of the best pairings I've ever had with a Vidar was the KLH Model 5s. It was actually the saving grace for the KLH because I wasn't like 100% on board with that speaker until I hooked up the Vidar. And I'm like, okay, now I get it. All right, we have a good question here. Just curious on the Folk Wagner, how many sold were silver versus black? Which is the most popular color?
Great question, because it's evolving. But in Folk Wagner in general, it was about 40% silver, 60% black.
I can see that because there's a bit of a two-tone if you go with the black.
It surprised me, though, because I figured it'd be more silver.
Yeah.
Historically, we're silver, but now current sales are very strongly black.
Okay.
Folk Wagner is actually opposite of that. It's like I think Modi and Magni are like 90-10 black and silver. I mean,
90% silver.
90% black.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really moved over.
Wow, that's cool. All right, let's go down here. It's from Facebook. Will the Vidar 2 be able to go down to 4 ohms in mono?
Yeah, and just like the other one, it can go down to 4 ohms in mono. But if you have a 4 ohm speaker that is 2.1 ohms at certain points,
it may go into protect.
It'll go into protect.
Yeah.
It has essentially the same power ratings.
Okay.
The current limiting might be dialed back a little bit, but I wouldn't expect it to be a huge difference.
Okay. P194 says, how's Mike?
Mike's doing much better now. In fact, he was at we had a holiday dinner at the Valencia facility. So Mike was there today. I'm going to do the one here on Monday. And, so we're sharing duties. But Mike is, much more involved in the digital than I am.
Yeah.
I just kind of keep up on what the team's doing.
All right. Scott Pledger. And I know, so this question comes up a lot. And it doesn't really bother me at all, but when will power switches be available on the front?
Oh, never.
Never. See, there's no reason. Just go back behind.
Well, no, it's we have certain products you can't actually put the power switch on the front. Lear is a great example. The transformers go from back to front, but also I've been asked that so many times. It's like, never. So. Sorry.
All right. We have a question about the transport. Jason talked about that probably first quarter next year, I think, for the transport.
And by first quarter, that does not mean January 1st. That probably means more. Think
like
more
March
March
30th.
31st.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Any plans on new phono preamp?
Interesting question, because the one thing that's most searched for and most asked about that we don't do is a higher end phono preamp.
Ah, maybe
So
one with a tube in it.
I would say there's a very good chance there'll be another phono preamp, but I don't know if it's going to be tube or not. Right now there's nothing solid in the works.
Yeah.
Mike and Dave did a tube phono preamp like 8 years ago, and I'm like, yeah. But yeah, it may be time.
Yeah.
It may be time to do something a little more interesting.
Well, you just came out with a new Maggie 2, though, right? Like,
Yeah,
when did that come out?
The Manny was was this year. It was like January or February.
Yeah.
And it's a real good phono preamp. It's just it's $150
Right.
do-all phono preamp.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want a tube phono preamp that's really not going to be do-all?
Yeah.
Without having another solid state stage in there for MC?
Yeah.
Or do you want something with balanced outputs? Or what do you want? Is
Right.
the question.
Well, who's putting a moving coil on a $150 phono preamp? Anyway, probably not a ton of people.
There's a few, but yeah.
So that's a good question. So you have the Manny, you have the Modi. When you think about a different product, are you thinking about, okay, we've already got this price point covered, we're going to go up to 500, 750? Is that kind of the thought process? Maybe with a new phono preamp is like, okay, we're not going to do another 150. We're going to go 600, 700, whatever it is.
It'd be significantly higher. We typically don't set a price point. We just kind of go, these are kind of the features we'd be interested in.
Yeah.
And then see what it would be. And sometimes it shocks me as far as being too high or too low. A new phono preamp, under about $400 would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Over $1,000 is going to be kind of silly, because that's a heck of a jump. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll probably will be playing around with that. And
that's cool.
See what we do.
Joan Frederick says she or he or she loves your shirt. Shit, you nuts.
Everyone who works for us gets to do their own custom shirts.
Yeah.
So this is one of my customers.
I actually brought home like 3 or 4 Schiit t-shirts from the Audio Roundup in August. I was thinking about wearing one, but I'm like, that's going to be kind of too on the nose to wear a Schiit shirt to the Schiit show. So anyway,
the one that actually says made in Texas and
other
U.S. countries.
Yeah.
That's the only one we ever got a comment on, like at the show in the elevator. We had a guy go, well, what does that mean? I'm like, California was a republic for like 6 minutes or something. And he's like, oh, I'm glad you know that, because, Texas was a republic for this long before. I'm like, cool. It's a joke. It's funny.
Just funny. Yeah, just joke.
It's cool.
All right. What is the current output of the tier?
It's going to peak well above 50 amps. And I haven't actually, done the essentially, typically you do it with a pulse.
Okay.
And measure it into a low impedance load. I should do that. It's going to be well above 50, probably about 75 amps.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's small pulse width tested into low impedance.
Very cool. Got a question about open baffle speakers. Which of your gear pairs well with the open baffle?
Well, as far as I know, most of it, because we actually have spatials at the Valencia shop, and we use it actually to test, both the Azure, Vidar, and the integrated Ragnarok. As far as, and we also have the Magnapan 1.7s and LRSs, if you want to talk, planar. But I think you're talking more like spatial. I think, an actual open baffle, type of speaker. So I do like those. They are, personally, I'd probably look at Azure.
Okay.
Those.
Very cool. Got a question here about the Freya S. Is it being phased out?
Absolutely being phased out. It's on.
There you go.
It's on. Oh, sorry. S. I thought you meant
Freya S. Sorry.
And Novel. Novel is being phased out. Freya S is not being phased out. Freya S is in full production.
Okay.
Yeah. So
very good.
That's the solid state Freya. If you don't want tubes, that's one way to do it. I use a Freya S.
Yeah, I had a Freya S too. I loved it. What's your highest current amp?
That'd be tier.
Okay, there you go. Vidar is great with spatial audio. M3, very good.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Let's do another question here. Really enjoyed your recent Head5 post regarding the Magnes journey. Which cool. If you don't know, go to head5.com.
Yeah, head5.com.
Head5.com.
And then if you search for, the shit happened thread, should be able to find it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's very long. Do you have another quick shit product backstory you can share with us now, or is that best left for another chapter post?
Oh boy, I definitely have other stories, and it's funny because our least expensive stuff usually is the stuff that goes through as many iterations as possible. But I think I'd like to save that for an upcoming chapter because we have a real interesting product coming out that's it's a interesting use case. It was used for about 18 months before we put it in production. A lot of it was developed by listening, but it measures really well and it does a lot of different things. So that one's going to be real long, like crazy, and that's the one that that's the Sacred Cow barbecue.
Okay.
You'll see because people will either think we're brilliant or crazy, and if I get shot, it'll be because of this thing.
All right, Dan Beggs, thank you. $5 from Dan Beggs. Any news on the multi-bit card for the Yote 9.2? Also, please offer a plain RSE ports card option.
Oh yeah, RCA. Yeah, the RCA cards we should be able to offer. I know we made a slight adjustment to make them easier to install, so we can do that. Thank you for reminding me about that. Multi-bit card is on hold, kind of ish, like the Modi.
Kind of ish.
Well, we snuck in the Modi multi-bit too. It's the same type of architecture, same DSP problem. I suspect that won't be coming back until we actually get TI worked out. So earliest would be March, latest would be July. Next year.
All right. Here's a good question. They're all good questions. They're all good questions. We can't read them all, but because I had the same question for Jason. Why do you like Freya S over the Plus?
Oh boy.
I felt the same way. I like that.
I'm get eviscerated for this.
Yeah.
Because I think it sounds better.
Yeah.
I can't put it in words, but it's a warm, happy, fun preamp that you have no worries about tubes. You just use it, and that's it. Mike uses one too. That said,
I used one too. I had a Freya.
Yeah. That said, I mean the Freya Plus is a great preamp. Stereophile loved it. With the right tubes, it's fantastic. But for me, it's like no, just give me the Freyas.
Yeah. What about Singularity?
Yeah, Singularity. That is for the people that don't know, that's our own Delta Sigma modulator.
Oh.
So we are firmly committed to multi-bit, but we like to play.
Yeah.
So we recently showed a prototype of a Delta Sigma product that we came up with. So we have our own modulator, our own setup for that. That is actually proceeding pretty well, and I think.
Do you want another beer?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know what kind are you drinking?
I'll go for the Goza.
Goza.
Yeah.
Good choice. Yeah. I saw you're empty. I saw you probably needed another beer.
But yeah, I think we have decent opportunity maybe to introduce a product based on that next year.
That's cool, man.
We'll see. It'll be really interesting to put that up against multi-bit because they do sound different. We'll see what happens.
All right. Question coming in from Facebook. Just got my Asgard this week. Now I just need a Modius. Are there any plans for an updated Modius in the near future?
No, Modius E is the current Modius, and no plans to update it. I mean, eventually it'll probably get the new fancy chassis like we did on Magni Modi, but that's maybe 6 months down the road.
Okay.
And it's just a chassis change.
Chassis.
Yeah.
Put it in a different box. All right. Sound difference between Azure, Vidar 2, and Vidar.
Interesting. I would say that Vidar 2 kind of splits the difference between Vidar and Azure.
Oh boy, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it actually is dynamic and punchy and happy, but it also has more detail. Azure has always been a nice, detail very detailed amp that is great for like acoustic stuff.
Mhm.
I've always preferred Vidar, in home theater applications or for rock and things like that. I wanted to make the Vidar 2 better, and so I got it much closer to where Azure is.
Very cool. All right. Giveaway? I don't know. We're waiting. I think they're picking names or assigning numbers or something like that. If you're just joining us, though, if you want to be entered into an incredible giveaway for all the analog products created in introduced in 2022, or all the digital products introduced in 2022, the only thing you have to do is comment or like, or I guess post. What do you do on Facebook? You post or you comment on Facebook? You post. It's a fake Facebook post. Right, Jason?
Comment on it, I think.
Comment, whatever.
Honestly, I try to stay away.
I don't even get on Facebook. I'm on social media so much that I guess I get on Instagram every now and again. Biggest challenge this year, biggest success from Scott Owen.
Biggest challenge was, like I mentioned before, just getting parts. The biggest success is we had a whole bunch of product launches, and all went off pretty seamlessly, no hitches, no craziness, and we had enough supply, which is not typical. Typically, you introduce new things, and there will be surprises before you bring something out, right as you're ready to launch, et cetera. And it's been very smooth.
At what point did it happen this year when you're like, oh my God, we actually can ship stuff on time and whenever we want to now?
It started probably around July and August.
Okay.
And then it's now, most stuff is in stock, except for Loki Max. I think we're about out of stock on.
I want one of those.
Yeah.
I want a Loki Max. They're expensive. Now, they're not, in the grand scheme of things, they're not super expensive. For my channel, Schiit Audio Man, it's a little bit expensive, but man, I love EQs. All right. Here we go. Another phono amp. Another vote for the phono. Fully discreet. All right.
Yep. Actually, and we're debating that now too. It's like fully discreet or balanced or both.
Here's a question: who makes better DACs, you or Gishelli Labs?
Oh, well,
I love them both, by the way.
We never say anything bad about any other manufacturer, but of course we love our DACs.
Oh yeah. Both great DACs. I love them both. Are we giving away something?
We're going to do a drawing to see who won the prize.
One drawing, or both?
We're going to draw two.
Okay.
We're going to get Jason with our Texas
Texas Christmas.
All right.
So
it's filled with fire ants.
Oh, great! Another
Texas welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, Texas welcome.
Who am I
fire
giving
ants
this to? Denise? Okay, there we go.
All right. And the winner is.
And we needed two of them.
Oh. Yeah, not fire ants. I discovered those too.
They're a lot of fun, aren't they?
That was
When you
a
got
lot of
sandals
fun.
on. Yeah. I don't know if you're not from Texas or what, fire ants. It's a lot of fun. You walk out in the backyard and some flip flops or barefoot, and then you start to hear start to feel some tingling sensation, and then you notice there's about 300 ants, tiny little red ants biting you, and then it stings for a long time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right. So right now thank you. I'm trying to find this comment. So anyway, we had a super chat from Louis Navarte. Said, "Bye, Mr. Schiit, a beer for me." Thank you very much.
You.
We appreciate it. I would highlight it, but I can't find your comment because. Oh, wait a minute. There it is.
Yay.
Boom. Thank you, Louis, very much. Very much. All right. What's your favorite DAC, Jason?
My favorite DAC is actually now Bifrost 2. Now, I have to preface that because I typically do a lot of desktop listening, and Bifrost 2 is desk friendly. And Yggdrasil, we have one behind me. It's like, imagine that thing.
It's like a size of a receiver.
Yeah, it is basically an old school receiver. I do think Iggy sounds better, and I do use Gunyer, so that's a non-answer. But if you had to press me, it's going to be the Bifrost, the current iteration, the 264. I like a lot.
There you go. Bifrost 264. Any possibility that Erd will be able to play files from a USB drive?
I don't believe so because we don't have the interface for it.
All right. Sam's got fire ants in Florida too. You guys got all sorts. Florida's like the Amazon. Like you have a bunch of wild iguanas that just got cut loose, and then you have a bunch of pythons. You have mosquitoes the size of Cessnas. What else do you have? Alligators. What else? What else?
Various weird giant bugs.
Yes.
Like in general, I don't even know what they are.
Yeah. And they're so big you can hear you can hear their wings beating. And they fly over your head. So absolutely. Florida's great. Actually, I lived in Florida twice.
Mike lived in Florida a lot of his life, actually.
Rothgar, the Viking, says there are monkeys. There is monkeys.
Monkeys?
There is.
Oh, boy.
I don't know. Rex Carlson says he never wins shit. Chris Studebaker, my boy. Cockroaches the size of small German cars in Florida.
Yep.
All right. Will Leader, love these made. All right. You want me to read them? You want to read them?
You can read them.
All right.
Oh.
So the winner of the analog is Frank McCrea. So Frank McCrea?
Or McCrae, maybe?
Silent C. McCrea. No, McCrea. Frank, congratulations. You won all of the analog equipment introduced in 2022. Forever. You won all the analog equipment forever.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yep. All right. And the winner of all the digital products introduced 2022, Mike Hogan. Mike Hogan. Not Hulk Hogan. Mike Hogan. You win all.
And if we get one thing out that we're really trying to, that's going to be a heck of a prize.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's... What's that? Oh, yes. If you won, contact Denise at Schiit's. Do you want me to give out your email?
Sure, but I want to...
Denise, you want me to give out your email? Okay. Denise at Schiit.com. Denise at Schiit.com. So contact Denise. And that's a heck of a product, man. A prize. Product prize. All right. What up with the tier reviews? I don't know.
Oh, we just got one from Stereophone.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
There you go. Stereophone got a review. Congrats, winners. Jason from Jason. All right. Congrats to the winners. Need a streamer for my just picked Ragnarok 2, and it would be nice to have something that works with everything. Need a streamer? If you're on a budget, check out the Weem Mini Streamer or the Weem Pro Streamer. They're both really good. You can optical right out of them into the DAC. So they're both good. Blue Sound, Node, that's good streamer. If you really want to, you can get the iFi Zen Stream, but I would only use that as like a Rune endpoint or for Tidal Connect. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Congrats.
There's a lot of good streamers out there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Any plans for flat connectors for stacks like the old snake oil connectors?
Oh, good question. No, not from us. I know Snake Oil is doing ones that are compatible with our newer products.
Cool.
So yeah, but there will be some, but not from us.
Very cool.
We like Snake Oil. We buy their cables, so
Yeah.
I don't want to compete with them.
Snake Oil made the first and only cheap Audio Man product. So a bunch of RCA cables for me. So they're great.
I use them everywhere.
You ever considered making a headphone?
No, kind of same thing with speakers. We don't know a lot about transducers, so you don't want us playing around with something we don't know a lot about.
Yeah.
Some people say we don't know much about digital, but you know, hey.
Yeah. Oh, that came from Tony Jenkins. That's Tulsa Tony. All right. Any plans for affordable R2R DAC?
Well, that's Modi Multibit too.
Yeah.
Is going to be as affordable as we can get, which is about $299.
Yeah. Barry, Palmetto Bugs. Yep.
I like that. I'd love a baby Ragnarok 2.
Ah.
I would love a baby Ragnarok 2 as well.
Yeah.
That's not a hint. That's just me kind of going, that's my kind of product.
Yeah.
what's actually kept us from doing that is to get it right would kind of break our form factors.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, actually changing something so that we have to get all different packaging is really painful. So, maybe I'll get you a baby Ragnarok too eventually, but I doubt if it'll be next year.
That's cool. Gino Montez joining us on Facebook of all places. What up, Gino? All right. Still love my wacky folk Wagner. Very happy I was able to get one. All right. Is there a way on the Bifrost 264 to upgrade cards?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're in stock on them and the card. Yeah, upgrades as well.
All right, here we go. Do you feel there's a benefit using a different endpoint than simply using an Intel NUC with Rune Rock directly into an Iggy?
Personally, no.
All right.
But then again, I've made fun of essentially streamers just saying, "Oh, you mean an expensive single-purpose computer?" Back when they were expensive. Now that they're cheap, it's like, yeah, have at it.
All right. Why did the Freya N fail? I got one last week and find it sounds better than my.
I would love to know why it failed, because I figured, a Freya that's cheaper with tubes we can get. And everyone's kind of like, I don't want that one. I want the expensive one. I'm like, okay. So we're blowing them out now. I think we still have some. I think they sound fantastic, but you can't predict everything.
Right.
It's like when we started up, I'm
that's right.
It pencils out. It pencils out, and then you actually do it, and then it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, obviously, if everything you introduced was a success, then you probably wouldn't be doing this right now. You'd be like, hey, it's kind of like you can always bet on the stock market. Then you'd not be on camera because you wouldn't need to be here. So
honestly, I'd rather do this. It's like, okay, people have joked about when you're going to sell, when you're going to retire. It's like, no, we're having way too much fun.
Yeah.
This is great. There's a lot of audio stuff we can still poke at.
Yeah. We good? All right. We'll just keep rolling. All right. How do I get my Gunshier upgraded to Unison USB?
We got that up on the site.
Okay, cool.
Go to upgrades. Yeah.
Cool. Freya with 12 AU7s, question mark.
With an adapter, that should work. Yeah.
Okay.
Should work.
Can't wait to see your CD player. All right, your favorite headphone amp, personally. He's gonna need a drink of beer for this one.
Folkvanger, if the headphone supports it. Otherwise, actually, the old Mjolnir 2.
Okay.
And that's another one. I don't know why it stopped selling, but it stopped selling, so we stopped making it.
Okay.
We do have a prototype Mjolnir 3 here, but it might really get some hate because it's actually solid state. It's not tube.
Well, I'm more of a solid state guy than I am tubes. I'm willing to be tube curious, but that's about it.
I hear you. That's why I did Lear Plus, because it's like you don't need it.
Yeah.
You don't need to. Just pull it out, throw it away if you don't want to do it.
Yeah. You good? Or you want to wrap it up or keep going? All right. Tier review on your website from Stereophile, question mark. I don't know. Do you get okay? So
have we put the tier review up from Stereophile yet? Oh, that's right. They haven't linked it yet. Yeah, they need to link it on their site.
Okay.
It's in the magazine right now, and until they put it up, we can't link to it.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. And we can talk about it as of the 10th, so we're good to talk about it, right? Yeah.
All right, I guess you're gonna have to walk on down to Barnes & Noble and pick up a copy of Stereophile to read that review.
Magazine? What is that?
It's one of those things that, like in the 80s and stuff. Remember Stereo Review? I was a kid. I was in high school and I got Stereo Review, and I'm like, I've never heard of these brands before, and they were so expensive, but I still read about it.
Stereo Review, audio, and then when I saw my first Stereophile, I remember going through it and go, these people are crazy.
Right. Yeah. Would you ever consider a portable or dongle DAC?
We've considered it. And in fact, we did a dongle this year, all the way through to finish. I should have brought a couple here. And we didn't think it sounded very good, so we didn't do it. But that was going to be a $49 dongle
Oh,
type
wow.
product. Yeah.
That's cool.
And so we might revisit that. I'd rather put our technology in it, our Unison technology in it. And so we might look at that again next year.
Okay. That's cool, man. Shit dongle deck. Anthony says, I just want to say I love all the Schiit products. I'd love to put together a full system using all Schiit products and totally dig the Cheap Audio Man's content. Hey, thank you, my friend. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Keep coming in. What about a Schiit VU meter that can be plugged into the unused output on my Saga? I got to tell you, I'm 100% behind this idea.
People have actually asked for that a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we could. It's like, the problem is we also work on a lot of other stuff, so it's a bit of a diversion. But it is something that could be done.
Yeah. All right.
I think when we bring out some of the new crazy stuff, you'll go, I'm glad you didn't do the diversions.
Yeah.
But
diversions, yeah. That's like, I mean, they're busy. There's only so much time in the day. Don't get me wrong. I love dancing meters, and I would love to have one that says Schiit on the top. That would be cool. But they're probably working on stuff that's going to have more enjoyment than simply VU. I hope so.
If we're right, this coming year we're gonna have a couple of really wacky things.
That's cool.
And we'll see what people think about it.
All right.
Maybe it'll be a Freya N again. Who knows? Maybe it'll be something else.
All right. Do a Class A that beats up on pass labs. There you go.
Yeah, that's a bigger chassis but doable. It's like, but I won't shit talk pass labs.
Yeah,
No
I think there's a lot of good designers out there. Have you thought about bitrate LEDs?
We've thought about it. Iggy has them. I think I'll leave it at that. I've thought about it, but not huge fans.
All right. Timothy says he does not. I don't need encouragement to buy your stuff. Up to 6 pieces of shit now. I sure would like to get some for free. Well, they're already giving away. Timothy, unfortunately, I don't think you won, but 2 lucky people did win. So
I suspect you'll get a chance to give us input and maybe win selected things, over the year, over the course of the year, because we're probably going to be asking opinions on some really stupid ideas.
Oh, well, I love stupid ideas. All right.
Hey, how do you progress if you just copy what everyone else does?
Right. Yeah. I like it. Thanks to Griner tube supply is no longer an issue.
Really? I don't know Griner. Let's look into them.
All right. Oh, here's a good question. What about outboard variable loudness control?
That is a really good question.
Yamaha style.
I'd much rather do it in a preamp.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah, or a headphone amp.
I love loudness button. Why did loudness button go away? We all had loudness growing up.
Because there was this perception, based on some fact, that it interfered with the transparency of the system.
Like an EQ or like tone controls, which I love EQ, I love tone controls, I love the balance knob, I love the loudness knob, I love everything.
And in an era where you're doing 10% carbon resistors and you're using 741 quality op amps, it probably it's not so great. These days we can do a lot better. It's up to debate. Everyone has to decide on their own if is it transparent enough? Is the EQ transparent enough? Are the tone controls loudness transparent enough? And then you can start arguing digital EQ. Yeah. Where you're crushing the signal now. You're shaving bits. Yeah. But
it's not bit perfect anymore, Jason.
But if you're calculating at 32 bits, does it matter? Yeah.
Right.
There's all these interesting ideas.
Yeah. I think if it sounds good to you, it doesn't matter. Personally, sometimes when I'm listening at lower levels, I like to hit the loudness button.
I love it.
Sounds better. So I don't really care. I don't care if it's bit perfect. I don't care if it's through an EQ. I care if it sounds good. So I like the loudness button.
I'm with you on that.
Do you want to answer a few more or you want to wrap it up?
Sure.
All right. A couple more and then we're probably going to call it a day. Do you love the metal switch?
Metal switch.
I don't know. I love metal switches.
Sure.
Okay, sure. All right, Jason says sure. All right. I don't even know how to say that.
Always got an original Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Okay.
Mjolnir, yeah. That still have an original Mjolnir, and I have a Mjolnir 2. I like both of them. The Mjolnir 3 is more of a homage to the original. It is not a circlotron. For anyone who's looking for circlotron, not a circlotron. But it is a dual mono Class A, real Class A, single-ended or push-pull, feedback or no feedback, with different gains type of device. And so maybe someone will be excited. Otherwise, you can use it for I believe it makes a nice little grill. It gets very hot.
Put a ribeye on it. Chris says 16-bit is good enough for Sega. It's good enough for me. I agree. 1644.1, baby. That's all I need.
There's a lot of good content out there.
Yeah, even some MP3 stuff that's recorded great. Like, there's an interesting, just a side note, there's an interesting thing from NPR that gives you 3 different track resolutions. One is MP3. I think one's like 160 kilobits per second, and then one is lossless. And you get to try to choose and see if you can hear a difference. And then they score you. Right. And it's really amazing, like, how bad I do. And this is what I do for a living, and I still can't necessarily pick out the highest resolution.
I can do lossy and lossless up to 320 real easy. But yeah, it also depends. It depends on a lot of things. We actually we've done a lot of things. We've done what we call blind listening.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just sit down and do level match, like between a Valley, which is in current parlance, Cyanide of like 40, and a Magni Heretic, which is like 120,
mm-hmm.
and you do fast switching, and with unfamiliar music, especially after a couple beers, you'll be like, well, they're the same.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you literally just listen to a tube amp and an op amp based amp, and they're the same.
Yeah.
And then you sit back and you go, oh yeah, okay, there's but audiophiles, a lot of times they kind of blow the differences out of proportion.
Yeah.
And the guys who are only measurements, a lot of times they will discount anything that's not the measurement.
Right. Yeah.
Which is hilarious, because a lot of the stuff I'm working on, we can't measure on our APX 525 in Corpus. It has to go to California to the 555. We're playing down below the level of a $13,000 analyzer. We need a $30,000 analyzer.
Tell you, okay. Yeah. Any chances of another run of the Piety?
I have to ask Christian about that. It's actually not our product.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope he makes more.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
Cheap Audio Man doesn't believe in tube amps. Educate him. Listen, I believe in tube amps. I just did. The LA34 I said was a good tube amp. I did the Black Ice Audio. It was pretty good. It was low powered though.
Do you have a Layer Plus?
No.
We'll get you a Layer Plus.
Layer Plus. There you heard it. You heard it here. Cool. Well, I think you want to wrap?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I appreciate all of you watching. We're going to say goodbye from the Shitterless meetup in Corpus Christi. Congrats to all the winners. Go over to Schiit's Facebook group. Give them a like, a follow. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. What is it? What is your YouTube channel? Just Schiit?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
I guess we're streaming from it now. And if you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe to the channel. But I appreciate all of you. It was a blast. Thank you to Denise. Thank you to Jason for inviting me down. It was great. Anything else? We're good?
One last thing, I wanted to mention to everybody that after this live stream, we're going to be talking with some of the people who need about the equipment, the products they brought.
Okay,
and
yeah.
We're going to put it up later.
Yeah, so after we shut this down, my buddy, who's actually running camera for me, he and I are going to shoot some stuff around here, ask some questions, maybe interview. We also did a tour at the factory today. Hopefully, if everything goes well tonight and my buddy doesn't get too drunk tonight, we're going to finish up that edit, and that will be posted up tomorrow morning sometime. It's a great kind of look behind the scenes at the Corpus Christi facility, and it was a ton of fun, and it was a ton of fun coming down here. So, Jason, I really appreciate it. Thank you, Denise, so much. Yeah, it was a blast. All right. So we'll see y'all. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Good
again.
night. God bless. We love y'all. Bye-bye.
Yes, we do.
Bye-bye.